And good morning. It's Wednesday morning here in Jasper, Alabama. Live at 9 with James Phillips is on the air here on WJLX. And this morning I've got a special guest today. We got Donna Kilgore is in. She is best known, I'm sure, around here as being the executive director of the Jasper Area Family Services Center and retired from there about maybe 2 months ago?
November.
So retired in November, and then I guess it was in December that you announced that you were going to be taking over as the executive director of the Beacon House.
Correct. So about 15-minute retirement there.
Right, because I think I had tried to book you right after you retired, and I had something, you had something, and
Yes.
and then it was like a week later. I was like, oh, well, I'm glad she didn't come on because now we can talk about two things.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I guess just tell the listeners a little bit about your background, how you got into the work that you've done throughout your career.
Well, actually, I this year will be my 37th year working in the nonprofit world. I graduated from Sanford University in the late 80s, and I wanted to do counseling, and I did that for about 13 years. Actually, I had started out in a facility outside of Atlanta that's much like Beacon House here, a residential facility for teens. And then I came back to Jasper, and I worked for Northwest Alabama Mental Health for about almost 13 years. Then I transitioned over to the Children's Policy Council, and then eventually the Family Resource Center. So through those years, I still, provided some direct service, but mostly the last 24 years it's been administrative in the nonprofit world. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when going into college, we got to step back a while, I guess.
Yeah.
But was this the career path that you were looking for, something in the nonprofit world, or how did it just...
I don't know that I really thought it was a nonprofit world. I knew I wanted to do something, maybe counseling with people. At that point, I wasn't sure what that looked like. And so, but it's ended up, I've always, in this field, worked for nonprofits. The facility I worked for in Georgia was, and then, of course, Northwest is, and all the others have been as well. So, and I've enjoyed that. I mean, I think people sometimes don't always understand between a for-profit and nonprofit,
Right.
But nonprofits, the ones I've worked for, primarily are funded through donations and grants and funding sources, that help provide a specific service to individuals or families. So.
Yeah. Well, and I guess the thing about the Family Service Center is that they provide so many different services. A lot of times people don't even know how much is being done.
Yeah,
there.
actually, through the years, I've always had people come up and say, well, I really don't know about that facility, or what do you do? And, do you try to explain it? Sometimes I felt like, it's hard to explain a family service model. Many times I've used the terminology of a one-stop center.
Right.
And the one here, Jasper area, is a member of the Alabama network of family resource centers. There's a little over 20 now, and spread out through the state. And so there's certain standards that you need to meet, about 24 standards that everybody meets to be a part of that membership. And they're all very similar, but then they're unique to their community.
Right.
So the one, here was a grassroots effort of many people. And, it developed, it's at its third location now. Opened the doors in 2002, and was down on Birmingham Avenue in the beginning.
Right.
And then moved over to Delaware, and then moved over to the West Jasper Elementary School.
I think when I started at the paper, that was like 96. I think it was at Delaware then. I'm not sure, but I think it was.
Okay. And so, the first one was on Birmingham Avenue, and then we're able to move over there to Delaware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was always amazed. I mean, I grew up here and had not heard of the Family Services Center until I was working at the newspaper. But I lived in the country and Empire, so it wouldn't have been a fit for us to even know about it much. But I've always been amazed at how many things happen out of that center. And being the administrator of it, I can only imagine it's a constant juggle.
Yeah, it really, we tripled it in size at one time. That was a quick growth, and expanded a lot of services over time. It took, one of the beautiful things to me about Jasper Area Family Service Center is the partnerships through the years, and it takes the whole community to make things happen.
Yeah.
And so the expansion and offering of different services from parenting to adult education with Bevel State, expansion of literacy programs with Literacy Council, pre-K and early Head Start programs to tap into that early education. Just a variety of services from birth to however old someone is. There's service there, okay?
Right.
That can help in different ways.
Yeah, I would love to see the number of hands of people that it has helped in these last,
Yes. Well, and I can't speak currently.
Right.
Even though I stay in close contact, and it'll all be always be dear to my heart. A lot of times we average about 400 people a month.
Right. Yeah.
And that was from a variety of ages, from birth to, in the 90s sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess the thing that gets the most publicity, especially this time of year, is the warming shelter. And you guys they open the warming shelter. I'm so used to you being the person. But they open that warming shelter anytime that it's below freezing. And that's a major task.
It is a major task. When Mayor O'Meary, I guess, first came into office, he approached me about partnering with the city to do that. And so the center has done that since that point. I think it's an important resource to offer to the community. I think sometimes people think it's just for someone who's homeless, but it's not.
Right.
Through the years, we've had large numbers of people who have a home, but when the temperatures get really extreme, like they've been this week or maybe even this weekend, there are people who just didn't have adequate heat and need a warm place to come into.
And that's probably been the case with most people who have come there over the years.
Yeah, statistically, it's at times been a very close number between people who are, might define themselves homeless or someone who just didn't have adequate heat.
Right.
Yeah.
And but it's been a great thing for the community. You guys that team up with the city to provide that because
and a lot of volunteers.
Yeah.
It's been amazing through the years to see. If you put a need out there, by the end of the day, it's usually met by somebody in this community.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I even think last week when they were preparing and they didn't have enough supplies, they put out the message on social media, and we had the new executive director or interim director in, and
Taylor.
Taylor, and it sounded like they got the supplies they needed really quickly. So
yeah, we communicated at the end of the day, and she was overwhelmed with the things that had come in by the end of that day. So
yeah. Our community always rallies.
Always.
That's the thing about it, But I think people don't get that sometimes. We get the bad name sometimes, but our community.
Yeah, my experience has been anytime that we have put out at the center, we put out a notice of a need, I could almost guarantee by the end of the day that need would be met.
Yeah. Now, during you were there for what, 24 years? Is that right?
Between that and the Children's Policy Council, they merged programs back in 2015, and so that total was 24 years.
What, I know you've got probably a lot of incredible stories that have great endings and help so many people, and then you probably got a lot of nightmares too that have happened over those years. But what are some of the things that just really does warm your heart that you went through during that time?
Yeah, I mean, I have many stories both ways. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I think working in the field of nonprofit that you don't always, particularly social service type work, you don't always see a great ending in a day. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have those moments, but sometimes it's a longer term kind of event to see things come. But I think it's when you see people, or they come up to you, or they come back and visit with you, or make a phone call to you saying, "Hey, I participated with this, and how it impacted my life." Then it's worth all those moments that you're working toward trying to
Yeah.
make things happen. Yeah.
And I'm sure you built some just fantastic relationships over the years with all types of people.
Oh yes, I mean I can't even. I don't have any idea the number of people that through the years that I still have contacts with, and that's another thing about a community like ours is that relationships. You build relationships with people. You can reach out and somebody might have a resource or that can help you. That if you don't have those relationships, you miss that opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So now you transition from that work that you've done for so long, and still helping people though with Beacon House.
Yeah, I had served on the board at Beacon House several years ago, and this opportunity came along, and I thought, it's kind of like I started in that area. Might be kind of the bookend to my working career. So been there
I've decided
few weeks.
You won't ever quit working.
Well, I don't know that I will either, for
if
sure.
that retirement was that quick, you're never retiring. I know.
So, Beacon House has a special place in this community. It's been around since the 70s.
Yeah.
The official name is Concerned Citizens for Our Youth, but most people in this community know it as Beacon House.
Right.
And at one point had Murphy Shelter as well, which is kind of an emergency placement. So we serve girls, basically 12 to 18, that come through the Department of Human Resources, that foster care related. Each situation is a little different, but they're connected through the Department of Human Resources. And they can, typical average stay is about 6 months at Beacon House. And we want to help them prepare, for returning to home or more permanent placement, helping them with their education. They all go to the city school system. It's a great partnership. Appreciate their love and commitment to the residents. We have a lot of local people who contribute in different ways, sometimes monetarily or with a talent or gift they have. Churches that open their doors to do events for the residents, which are always great.
Right.
And so each resident comes in and they have their own individual plan, and they have opportunities to work with a counselor, social worker, have individual group therapy type sessions, work on their education plan, and a lot of life skill work to be done with them.
Now, are most of the and I know every person who comes there is a completely different situation. Are most being coming there because they've had some sort of behavioral issue, or is it just circumstances, life, just
Different life circumstances.
Yeah.
Certainly there's sometimes behavioral challenges, but always going to be tied to something with Department of Human Resource placement, foster care, something interrupted their life in their home placement or their home, and needing some different care at the moment.
Yeah, but either way, whoever's coming there, it's not going to be from a fantastic situation,
Not usually.
Yeah.
Right. Some challenging life events occurred that's, brought them to Beacon House.
Right.
So.
And I've got my own share of teenage girls that age, so I know what they go through and how
Yeah.
that can be. I can only imagine it being 11 girls that aren't related and are going through all those things.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely challenging.
that could be a challenging situation.
You know,
for
and
sure.
I often think about, it's been a day or two since I was a teenage girl, but the challenges today are so different than when I was a teenager.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, you add things like social media and access to, just the world that's so much quicker and
Right.
and
Nobody is sheltered anymore.
no.
Even if you try to shelter your child. they're
And
not.
so the challenges with that is monumental for youth today, I think. And there's a lot of good things can come from it. I use it, love it,
Right,
but there's a
yeah.
lot of bad things that can be associated with it too. And we all know as a teenager, you're trying to figure out who you are and what you want to do in life. And under the best of circumstances, the most supportive environment, that's challenging.
Right.
So, yeah, we want to provide a holistic kind of wraparound support for the residents while they're with us.
Have you been surprised by anything since stepping into that role?
I don't think so, and I think it's because I'd had a couple of group home experiences through my life of working in that situation. I've worked with youth pretty much my whole working career. So I've not really been surprised much by anything,
Yeah.
It's different. I've had people ask me, well, stress-wise, how's it been? And it's actually been less stressful to me because, as we were talking a while ago, with the
Yeah.
center, there's so many different parts to that.
Yeah, this is a lot less moving parts.
And
at
this
least.
is one focus. So that part, it has its own stress level, but it's one thing versus multiple,
Right, yeah.
So that's kind of been surprising when I've told people. They're just really surprised by that. And it's a little bit surprising to me, too. So.
Well, and I would think, too, as you move further into it, it'll be really rewarding and probably a little more of that instant you see how you've helped people in this
It can be
situation,
because
too.
sometimes, because their residents are with us 24/7, basically, you can see those moments when something clicks or, a happy moment for them.
Right. Because you're going to be so close to the client.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our administrative office are there. It has a wing to the house itself. And so, we're in and out in the same facility.
Now, where did the name Beacon House come from, since it is Concerned Citizens for Our Youth?
Yeah, I'm sure I knew that at one point. Okay.
I should have asked that question a long time ago to somebody, but
And I may be wrong in this, but I think I may have to do some research and get back with you. But I'm thinking it's just the word itself, beacon.
right,
being
and that's
light.
what being a
Yeah.
light, but I didn't know how long it's been called that. But
From the beginning, I believe.
Okay.
I've gone back. Judge Brotherton, many people in the community remember him being
Yeah.
a circuit judge. He, Wanda Spears, a lot of other people. I don't want to leave anybody out, but were both instrumental in helping start Beacon House or Concerned Citizens and the Murphy
Right.
Shelter. It actually started out down on Main Street, 19th Street, down town.
Okay, I didn't realize
this was
that
his
either.
original location down on 19th Street.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. There's so many things that I think our community doesn't realize. They know Beacon House helps kids.
Yeah.
And so they want to help with that.
Sure.
But a lot of people don't know the history of any of the nonprofits. And
And if I'm not mistaken, there's well over 100 now, well over 100.
that's what I was thinking.
In
our
Walker
community.
County.
Yeah.
And with a nonprofit, you have a specific mission, and sometimes it's broader than others. But like with Beacon House, the mission is to work with teens,
Right.
and where the center, it's a much broader mission statement.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, even with the center, you have to know pretty much all the nonprofits around the community because you've got so many people coming in for different services to be able to tell them where else to go if,
Yes.
if it was something you guys didn't handle.
A lot of that came in with the Children's Policy Council, which is also a nonprofit, but every county in the state of Alabama is mandated by law to have one.
Right.
It's an unfunded mandate, but the one here in Walker County has been very fortunate since 2000.
It's easy for the state to mandate things if they're not funding them, right?
Yes, but we've been able all those years to have some funding for it, and
Yeah.
so the idea around it is it works with in each county all agencies that service children and families
Right.
from 0 to 19, and the mandate's really about state or local funded state, like education, mental health,
Right.
health department, but you can include others that service children and families. So Walker County's always included anybody really want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So most of the nonprofits here have always worked and collaborated with that. So it's always been a good partnership. And I mean, there's always challenges, but I think, again, our community at the end of the day really comes together. And when there's a need and a desire to help people, people show up to do that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I want to remind everybody we've got Donna Kilgore here this morning. She's now the executive director of the Beacon House and was with the Jasper Area Family Services Center as its executive director for a long time and retired from there late last year. We're going to take a quick break here at the bottom of the hour and hear from our sponsors. And then we'll be back to talk a little more. And I think you hitting on those groups working together kind of leads me to one thing I was wanting to talk about that we'll talk about when we come back is how well the nonprofits here in Walker County do work together. And they all come together for different things. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back on Live at 9 with James Phillips here on WJLX. And we're back on Live at 9 with James Phillips here on WJLX. Got Donna Kilgore as our guest today. Donna, I appreciate you taking time out and coming by and talking to us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
We were talking right before we went to the break about how the Family Services Center and different places, they all have to work together in the nonprofit world. And that's one thing I've noticed here that's different from other communities that I've been in, is the nonprofits seem to all get along, work to the same cause. They work together on different things. And I don't know if it's the overall help they get from like the community foundation to get them working together, but talk to those relationships.
Yeah, I mean, we're very blessed to have a foundation like the Walker Area Community Foundation, and my work through the years, and I've traveled through the state and go to meetings in Montgomery and other places, or even have other like funders, grantors come in to do site visits. They'll often comment that they don't see other communities work the way it does here.
Yeah.
And so very blessed for the foundation, all they do, the community, and they work very hard to bring partnerships together. I think that's a big step in that direction. And they help sponsor and support the nonprofit council that brings nonprofits together basically quarterly.
Yeah, I've been
together.
to a few of those meetings in the past.
And so I think my experience has been, and again, it goes back to building relationships with people, is everything's not going to always work out perfectly every time, but majority of the time, my experience has been that other nonprofits want to help each other, you know. So even like, at Beacon House right now, again, I don't want to leave anybody out, but Salvation Army, they've helped us a lot in the last 2 or 3 weeks, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I just reach out and said, hey, we had a specific need, coming up to this potential winter event last week that didn't impact us the way we thought it was. But just letting somebody know, and if they can meet the need, they generally will try to do that. It's been my experience. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys, with what you do, I mean, you've got to have clothing needs, I'm sure. You've got to have food needs, and there's no telling what could come up with having 11 teenagers.
Yeah, absolutely. We have funding, but, funding doesn't cover everything that comes across your tables.
Right.
So, and you have a facility to take care of, and we have a nice facility put up against any in the state of Alabama as far as a residential facility, and great board of directors. But there's always needs, we're always open. We're a nonprofit because we can accept donations if people want to give toward our mission, which is, to help young girls be successful in life. And we have several churches that open their doors, usually on a Sunday evening, have the residents come. We have staff that take them there. They'll have a program, a service, provide a meal to them, and they always look forward to doing that. And so if other churches would be interested in doing those kind of events, they just can reach out to us, and we'd love to talk to them. Somebody likes to volunteer. They have a certain gift or talent that they feel like they could teach somebody.
I was going to ask, do you have like mentors maybe that come in?
We don't have an official mentor. Something I'm very interested in exploring that idea, because I do think it's very important for, young people to have those special bonds with people.
Yeah.
But if somebody does, have some specific, maybe they're good at teaching sewing or
right. Well, I was thinking like maybe like guitar or something.
Yeah, music. We have some that love music.
Yeah.
Teach anything,
Yeah.
if they're interested in volunteering time, we'd love for them to reach out to us, because we have girls that have a variety of interests, from sports to music to art. And it might not be something somebody can feel like they commit long-term to, but even if it's one time or,
right.
Occasional, hey, I'll come do this event or teach something.
Right.
Even a cooking class, that's part of their living skills. They are able to do that with staff. But if somebody had a specific something they're very good at doing and want to share that and teach it.
Right. Yeah.
we'd love that kind of thing.
And I'm sure there's several people out there who would want to do something like that and maybe just don't know that the opportunity's there.
Absolutely. I've had some conversations since Christmas with some folks, and I'm going to be reaching back out to them. But, yeah, if somebody's listening today and would love to do that, I'd love to talk to you. Maybe we could come up with an opportunity.
Now, what's the best contact information for Beacon House?
Well, we have a website. It's beaconhouseprogram.org, okay? And my direct number is 205-522-3685. They're welcome to call me and reach out. Either way, our contact information is on our website as well. But,
Right.
yeah, they're welcome to call me or text me.
And other needs that you guys have would be?
Occasionally, and this is, again, pretty much we put a need out, we receive it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, and there is a process of when a resident comes, they have their personal items, but sometimes there might be a need. You know, teenagers grow fast.
Right, yeah.
And so, you know, they might need a new pair of shoes. They might need,
Right.
you know, longer pants or something, a new jacket for this kind of weather. And I mean, we have resources we can go and help that. But
Right.
occasionally we do keep, if somebody has those kind of gently used or want to buy something, we have a little closet one of the staff keeps for girls.
Do you know, have they ever done anything like almost like an angel tree, but not at Christmas time, like an adopt a child type thing where somebody can give so much per month and it helps? Or
Well, we've had people give that way, and also give a plug out to the Musgrove Ladies Golf group. They are great sponsors during Christmas time for the
Okay,
girls,
yeah.
and have been for a long time. We appreciate that and their commitment. And we have others that give during that time or reach out. We've had several this past Christmas that reached out and said, hey, I'd like to do something, and they
Right.
would give specific things.
But
And we
even
do-
during the middle of the year, if somebody had that.
Absolutely,
wanted to help
because
somebody.
it's ongoing. You
Right.
know, we're always have girls coming and some finishing or leaving for various reasons.
Right,
And everybody's not the same size. Not everybody has the same needs.
right.
So that's an ongoing, yeah.
And it sounds like the best way for people to reach out is to just do that. Reach out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Say, hey, what can I help with?
Let us know, and,
Yeah.
and I'll be glad to reach out, come talk to you, or
Yeah.
welcome you to come take a visit when we can make that happen,
Yeah.
and show you around, and lots of opportunities for people to share in this mission.
Oh, yeah, definitely so. Anything else you could think of just to let the community know?
Yeah, I mean, we just appreciate, again, Beacon House has been around since the 70s, so it's a fairly old nonprofit, and been around for a long time, and we want to continue that mission moving forward and serve families and young people and help them to be successful and resilient in life.
Yeah. Well, and if it's been around since the 70s, it's doing something right, because the nonprofits or even businesses don't stick around that long.
It is
you
a
know?
long time for a nonprofit, really.
Yeah. And I appreciate you. You've always been great to work with. And
Thank you, James.
You know, when I was at the paper, I know we did a series a couple different times.
Yeah.
I think on what all the services were. Just
Yeah,
to try
we
to
appreciate that.
Let people know, you know. And anything you guys have now, just let us know. We're happy to help in any way possible.
Appreciate it.
Well, guys, thanks for listening this morning. And reach out to Beacon House. Check out their website. Give Donna a call. Let her know how you can help. Especially, I think the church idea to get more churches involved would be fantastic. So the girls have something to do on a Sunday night more than anything.
Absolutely.
Because like I said, I've got my share of my own teenage daughters, and keeping them busy is a full-time chore sometimes.
It is, and so, you know, that gives them an opportunity to meet new people and new resources in the community, and recognize that there are people that care about their well-being.
Oh,
you know,
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. Well, again, thank you for coming in. Thank you guys for listening this morning. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, be kind and love, and we'll see you tomorrow on Live at 9 with James Phillips here on WJLX.